All right. Hey, y'all. Um, so I wasn't sure if I was going to come on and do a video today or this weekend, unless something significant, but pretty much every day many significant things are happening. Um, but Amir Sarfati shared something that, I don't know, it just struck a chord with me for whatever reason. And I wanted to share it along with some other thoughts that I've had as I've been working in my yard, although now it's too hot to continue doing that. Um, so Amir Sarfati shared via his Telegram channel, which I highly encourage you guys to go find him and follow him on that because he keeps a lot of good information of what's happening in the Middle East, as well as significant things happening around the world. He's very, very good at it. So highly encourage you to go find his channel, follow it on Telegram. But he shared yesterday how I believe it was Israeli Minister of Defense or someone like that. Um, Israel's getting more and more cozy with the European Union, which we know has to happen. Um, but it's definitely happening now. They are, as America has pulled away from them, they've decided to turn to the EU and are leaning towards them. Hey, what's going on, Brother Jack? As that's been happening, for those that have been watching, and for any amount of time, it has been a practice of Israel to warn civilians and non-combatants of upcoming attacks, so to speak. Why? Because Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations, who are all backed by Iran, are notorious for using innocent civilians as human shields. So, Israel, for instance, during the Gaza strike or during the Gaza conflict earlier, just like a month or two ago, before they bomb a building, they do a roof. Okay, all right. Who? Oh, really? Nice. Um, sorry, I was just saying. What's So in the past, Israel has always threatened, saying they promised they were not going to let Iran, get a nuclear weapon. But they've always either done it via news agencies in either English or um, Israeli or Israel, whatever they speak Hebrew. Um, this time they didn't. They went to the BBC and they had it done specifically in Persian. If that isn't a roof knock, I don't know what is. I pray that Lord intercedes and nothing, happens to carry out and nothing happens. However, I think it is, especially with Israel's, you know, history of dropping pamphlets warning or doing roof knocks. When they do something like this, to me, it seems like a big old warning to the Iranian people themselves. Hey, we've got this in place, yada, yada, yada. And they want to make sure they would understand it. To me, that is not just a warning to the government. So, definitely something of worth and to keep an eye on. Um, so, I definitely wanted to share that. Also, the other thing that I found interesting was me personally, I'm not going to go into the details, but me personally, there's only one topic that I ever have a dream where a theme of a dream runs consecutive nights in a row. And that has to do with my service in Afghanistan. And for obvious reasons, I'm not going to get into that. Um, the last 3 nights, however, for the first time, now I've shared some of my rapture dreams, but for 3 nights in a row now, I have had rapture dreams. Um, I know I shared with Brother Pete that this morning, and I know the first one was definitely of God. And then as I was working in my yard thinking of it, I told him before the other two I think were just my brain because I've been thinking of it so much. But the more I thought about it, I think the initial part of the dreams was from God, and then my brain just, when it ended, my brain just took over and did the rest, yada yada yada. Because like the one last night, after God ended his part, the dream just went weird. Which is how I know that wasn't of God and it was me, and it was definitely a whole different. Whenever I get a vision, a dream from God, it's bright, it's colorful, it's vivid, it's detailed, it's exciting. Is and in my dream, I know it's not me, especially when I'm taking medication that keeps me from remembering dreams. But um, So on most nights, I do not remember a dream. That's why I take my medications. That way I don't remember the normal dreams that I have. 3 nights now I've done this, and 3 nights, the one dream definitely was of God. My brain didn't carry on after that. But the 2 nights ago and last night, my brain went ahead and completed it. And again, the difference is God's part, bright, colorful, vivid, exciting. Both times, I was laughing during the rapture and crying at the same time. But then once it ended and my brain took over the rest of it, that's when it's not as vivid, it's not as detailed, it's definitely not bright. It's gets weird. I mean, it's typical dream. Um, so I thought that was very interesting that 3 nights in a row now I've had rapture dreams. Um, Brother Pete shared with me how last night he had 3 dreams, which I'm not going to get into specifics because they're not my dreams, and I keep things in confidence. But I do find it interesting that a brother had 3 dreams last night that I believe have something to do or reference the rapture in a way, each one in its own way. Um, so I find that very interesting. What does it all mean? I don't know. To me, and when I pray and ask, the only feeling that I get is it's more confirmation that it's soon. Keep lookout. I mean, we are at the doorstep, which is, pretty much what I've been saying for a few weeks now. Um, and then there was one other thing. Oh yeah, and so then the title of this video. Another thing I was thinking about, or thoughts that popped in my head as I was working in the yard, was, we're seeing a lot, especially this year, regarding certain flus, I'll say, and mandates for face coverings and so forth and so on. We know things in the spiritual world have a tendency to sometimes spill out into the physical world. And I'm wondering, for instance, give an example. Over the last 24, 48 hours, we've seen a big old fight between certain political leaders mandating masks again and floating the idea and letting it, trying to, what I think, get a feel of mandatory vaccinations. And another group fighting them about it. And certain government leaders, after seeing the resistance, kind of walk back some comments. And it's like it's a tug of war. They say something, get people riled up, they walk it back, then they come out with something else, and then I have to wonder if this isn't if we're not watching before us, what we think is politics is not is actually a battle between the spirit of the AC versus the restrainer playing out. We know the AC is ready to go. I mean, they got things in place. They want to get this ball rolling. But the thing is, he can't because the restrainer is keeping him at bay. So each time the AC is wanting to do something and ends up having to walk it back, is that the restrainer keeping it at bay and it's playing out in our physical world. Am I making sense? I don't know. There's something that I've been watching for a little while now, and over the last 24, 48 hours is definitely, big time, with these mandates that are coming out. And I just had to wonder about it and share, my own thinkings and whatnot, and maybe get some ideas of, what other people are thinking. But anyways, I just want to get on here and share those few ideas with you, share those few things. Hope you guys are having a blessed weekend. And man, I don't know how many more of these I'm gonna have because I really feel we are really close. But if we are still here, see you on the next video.